it's a classic Dan Brown novel. Origin by Dan Brown. A futurist billionaire meets with 3 religious leaders and he shows them a 3-minute video and he says that it's going to change the nature of religion and shake religious foundation to the core. That's the opener and the setup for Origin. And of course, Robert Langdon comes to Spain to watch this futurist presentation where he's going to change the world. Yet at the same time, there is an assassin that doesn't want the secret to get out. So it's a classic Dan Brown novel. So as a backstory with Dan Brown, I really liked Da Vinci Code, Angels and Demons, and The Lost Symbol. I know a lot of people weren't crazy about that one, but I liked all 3. They were really fun for me. And then he came out with Inferno, and I thought that was terrible. I hated that one. And that's why I was so hesitant to jump on with this one. Because Inferno didn't start off with a good premise, and then it didn't deliver on its poor premise. It just fizzled. There was nothing interesting about how it concluded, and in the end I just wondered why I bothered reading it at all. But then I took the masterclass on writing by Dan Brown, and he explained his writing process, and it was a really interesting class. Like, he talked about how he writes books, what kind of structural things he does in his narrative. He says that he always follows the 3 C's. He has to have a crucible, a clock, and a contract. So a crucible, you have to put your characters in really tough settings. You have to have a clock, as in they have to save the world in the next 24 hours or the world's going to explode. And then a contract, you have to give some kind of promise of knowledge, of some kind. You have to start off with a secret, and then you have to reveal the secret. If you have those 3 things, he says, those are the core elements of a thriller. And he has all 3 of them in this book, and it works well to that effect. Like, I read it pretty quickly, and it was fun. Dan Brown novels usually are. However, since I went through that class, it made it easier to see plot elements coming. I saw the twist in this book coming well in advance. About a third of the way through the book, I knew what the twist in the end was going to be. I think I would have gotten it if I hadn't watched the class, but it was definitely quicker this way. It was kind of like watching the making of video of movie before you actually watch the movie, which was weird. I don't usually do that, but has its downsides. But I knew the twist was coming, but I was still excited to see the twist of where it was going to go, of how it was going to play out. And then it pulled an Inferno and it just fizzled. The antagonist of the story is taken out of the equation way too early, so you have a large section in the end where the heroes don't have any resistance. It's a strange move for novel pacing. Then you see the secret in the end of what the futurist billionaire had shown to the religious leaders, and that did not pack the punch that I was hoping that it would. I was really hoping for something that would make me think, make me, see why the religious leaders' reaction was so justified, but no. I'm still kind of left wondering, which is too bad, because that's not really coming through on the contract. As far as the writing style itself goes, people rightly complain about the writing style because it's invisible. Like, he doesn't, like, he has his little way of describing a scene, and that's it. Dan Brown's writing makes you feel like you're watching a movie, though a movie with bad actors, like actors that aren't really good at acting, because the dialogue, the characters, they're just kind of flat, saying their lines and going on to the next scene. And I'm only sort of complaining about this because I like a good fast-paced movie, and even if the characters aren't particularly gripping, the situation itself can be gripping. I'm happy to be pulled along with it. Just in this case, it didn't have the gripping narrative that I was hoping for. So all in all, I would give this movie a solid 2 stars. Not as bad as the 1 star that I gave Inferno. So if you have any book recommendations, leave them in the comments below.